Hi, I'm Jordan Ty, that Rucking guy, and this is day 4 of the 62-mile Rucking challenge. 1, 2, 3, 4. My back and shoulders are already sore. At least today feels more like, oh, I'm just going on a walk, We'll see how it goes. But it took me longer to actually get out of bed and get ready to do this because I really didn't want to do this. But I can't give up. So it's the 4th of July, so why don't I give you a little history lesson? We love America, and we're like, yeah, we fought for our independence. And it's like, really, American history is more like we ran off on the plug twice. Like, the first people to come to America were like religious extremists that got kicked out of Britain for being too extreme. And then the next wave was like, oh wait, you can leave Britain? You can leave England? And it's like, yeah, you can just leave. And it's like, oh, okay. So then some entrepreneur bros went to the British government and were like, hey, we want to go to America. Can you finance it? Can you pay for it? And the British government was like, yeah, sure, we'll fund for you to get there, but you'll pay us back when you get on your feet, won't you? And they're like, yeah. And then as soon as we got to America, they're like, are we really gonna pay them back? And we're like, fuck no, we're not paying them back. Shit, we're already here. And then, but we still needed stuff from them, which was so fucking dumb. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna pay you back that money I owe you, but also, could you send some toilet paper and some pizza rolls, And so they were like, all right, well, if you're gonna keep buying stuff from us, we're gonna tax you on it to pay for the trip we financed for you. And then again, America was like, fuck you, we're not paying for that. And then so eventually, we were just all cocky. We're like, yeah, fuck them. We're not paying them back for, paying for us to get here, and we ain't paying extra for any of the shit we buy from them. I mean, what are they gonna do? Pull up? And that's exactly what they did. And then we were like, oh shit. And then we had to convince all the poor people, the poor white people in America, like, hey, taxation without representation is theft, isn't it, guys? Shouldn't we fight against this? And that's basically what happened. So to think that we fought independently and bravely for what was right, it was really not the case at all. Like, America's never really been the good guy. And you're like, well, what about World War II? And it's like, well, we kind of caused that low-key. Like, World War II, or like, Mr. Badman. I don't know if I could say that on here. But he just saw what we were doing to black people in America and was like, oh, we should do that over here. But, with these guys instead, it was basically like telling your coworker, like, yeah, I smoke a little joint before work, just to get a little, take the edge off a little bit, but don't tell anybody. And then your coworker, like, fast forward a couple of weeks later, and your coworker's doing dabs in the bathroom. It's like, brother, we gotta put a stop to this. You're going way too hard. And then people are gonna find out that I was the one who put you on to smoking, And that's more what it was like. It's like your friend's getting out of control, and you're like, whoa, you're about to ruin this for everybody. Chill out. You ain't supposed to go that hard that fast. But yeah, so it's like not like we were doing any better, Whoa, shit. I just fucked up that web. It was so big. I fucking hate white people. You don't even exist. This thing that we made up has got the whole world fucked up. I can't believe we all subscribe to this when literally no one is gonna survive all this. The planet won't die, but we all certainly will. 'Cause all you white people wanna die on this hill. The capitalism isn't as bad as we make it seem. But tell me, when's the last time you had an American dream that didn't involve getting the fuck out? 'Cause we don't understand what the hell you're talking about. These days it feels like anyone could die. Anywhere you breathe, you could be a casualty. A casualty, a fucking casualty. Why do I have to subsidize a billionaire? It's unfair, especially when he didn't do any of the work we do. With sweat we prove, with all the blood we lose. There's something. It's like I got a bunch of whole half-written ass songs. You know, but I write when the motivation strikes, I guess. It's unfinished and I don't know how to play guitar. But I do. I hate them because they choose to be ignorant. They vote against their own self-interest, and they're directly standing in the way of change. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody else, all the black and brown and gay people, we're ready for change. We're ready for things to be different, and we want things to be better. It's just like white people don't want to do it because they don't want to share with everybody else. But it's like none of this shit that you have is yours to begin with. So it's not like, well, I don't want to share my stuff with everybody else. It's like, I don't want to share all the stuff I stole with everybody else, even though I stole it from them, you know? And like, if you Google how much money slavery generated, you'll get about $4 billion, which translates to about $44 trillion in today's money. And then you look up how much wealth the top 1% controls or owns, and it's about $40 to $44 trillion. So it's like, oh, right, exactly what I thought. Slave money, like that's the reason why everyone is as rich as they are today from slave money, because that money didn't just evaporate into the fucking sky the moment we outlawed slavery, which we never really outlawed slavery, but you know that, prison, industrial complex, prison labor. But yeah, here's another take. I'm like not as tired. I'm not as tired. Today's the first day I feel 5% better. Because I know that by the time I get back down that way, I know I'm gonna be in some. I'm gonna be hurting for certain. Yeah, it's already starting to set in. I was like, oh, here's another take. Never mind. I put a little sweater on the back to try and press up on my back a little bit. It helped at first, but not anymore. Oh, yeah, again, I can't wait to see how many pounds I dropped just from pure sweat, dude, and exhaustion. Political takes. Something. Oh, here's one. When you go to the grocery store and you look at a price, I need you to remember that the CEO of that company is making like $14 million. The CFO is making 12. The COO is making 8. This other executive is making 12. Another one is making $24 million a year. And so when you look at the price of something, it's like the cost of doing business, the cost of paying your employees, and the cost to pay like 5 or 6 dudes anywhere from 14 to 24 million dollars a year. And so it's like, they could definitely afford to bring the fucking price down. You know what I mean? Like, you have to realize every time you look at a price tag, it includes that. It includes paying all the people that actually do the work the minimum you possibly fucking could, and then paying a handful of people who don't do shit a ridiculous amount of money. And so when you see that, you know, oh, something's like $5 now, it's like, right. And they're paying for CEO and executive bonuses with that. Not improving the product, not paying their employees more. None of that shit, you know? You know, I love a good protest as much as the next guy. But it's like, I'd rather go on strike. Like, if we had a general strike and like 10 to 20% of the workforce went on strike, this shit would be over by Friday, because they would be hemorrhaging money, which is silly because no, not really. But to a capitalist, unmade money is lost money. So even if the employees went on strike and the store wasn't open that day, they didn't lose any money, but they didn't make the money that they were supposed to make by being open that day. So to them, that's a loss. And so you just keep making them lose money, and eventually they'll cave, you know? And it's like, look, what the fuck do I care about this job? This job doesn't even provide enough for me and my family, or even single people, really, for the most part, like most jobs. So what do I give a shit if you're losing money, or, you know, whatever? Like, fuck this company, fuck this place. I really gotta stop cursing eventually, but it's like, I'm so tired, I can barely get through it. 62. Well, today's day 4, so I'm on my 7th and 8th mile of this ruck, and like, something I didn't notice until today or yesterday was my right calf fucking super strained, and my left knee super sore. But just keep pushing through, one foot in front of the other. Like, essentially, most men are being cock-blocked by capitalism, and instead of banding together with the boys and demanding better pay, we all just think that we're gonna become fucking entrepreneur bros and shit. And it's like, wait
to cross Seminary Drive at Trueland Drive.
It's like, wait. Again, going back to numbers, only 5 or 6 motherfuckers are gonna be the CEO, CFO, COO, executive, and owner. What about everybody else? That's most other men. And like, yeah, how come the price of everything has gone up over the last 40 years, except for wages? The cost of labor has not gone up. And it's like, dude, if you want me to come in and work, I at least gotta be able to take care of my fucking bills, you know? Like, that's ridiculous. I did some calculations on my old apartment. That was like $1,080. And I calculated, I was like, what if you made 15 and you're trying to live here? Or like, what if you made $20 an hour and tried living here on your own? Like, what would that look like? And literally, it totaled out to spending like 98% of your yearly income just on survival, just on like rent and car insurance and etc. You know, basic shit, phone plan. You were spending 98% of your fucking yearly income. And so that means you got like 2% to enjoy your life for the year with, which I think translated to something stupid like $100 and something a month of like expendable income. 100 for the month, or like somewhere between like 150 and $300 a month to spare. And it's like, what is anyone supposed to fucking do with that? But yeah, it's just pissing me off. And because it's like we don't have to live like this. All these people are suffering unnecessarily. It's just so annoying to like talk about issues under capitalism, because it's like you're not allowed to say the only real answer that there is. And it's like, people can't afford groceries, and you know, people can't afford this, can't afford that. What should we do? It's like, pay them more money? Nah, we can't do that. I don't know. Maybe if we let people finance Uber Eats deliveries, maybe if we can break up your Uber Eats delivery into four payments with a 35% interest rate on them, maybe then you'll start consuming more. And it's like, yeah, I said it the other day, like when you give real people, like working class people, when you give them more money, they just give it right back. They just spend it on goods and services. And it's like, what do you think is better for the economy? 500,000 families going to the grocery store, to Target, to this store, to that store, or like a billionaire going to space for a couple minutes? You know? And speaking of Bezos and Elon and everybody, these people didn't work their way into the positions that they had. It's so crazy. When you are a fan of business and a fan of capitalism, they will give you all the game for free, and they don't even try to hide it. But when you come at it from an anti-capitalist viewpoint, then they try to be like, well, actually, I make a handful of really important decisions. But then when you want to be a businessman and you want to participate in this fucking world, they're like, all right, first rule of business is you got to be able to what's the word? You got to be able to delegate responsibility to other people and let them handle it. If you try to micromanage everybody else and what they're doing, then you're not going to have time to focus on what's really important about the business, which is, whatever, growing it or securing new investors or whatever. But it's like, you might hear as a entrepreneur bro, like, oh right, I gotta let other people do it so I can focus on what's important. And it's like, right, let other people do the work. And then you realize that all the other people are doing a majority of the work. Like, you ever see a movie where our protagonist works at a big company and they got their pitch ready and they got to, present their PowerPoint to the boss, and hopefully it goes well because they really need this, etc. All those other people at the table who are also going to present their ideas, hey, they did all the work, and not even really, because they manage a team below them. So the team below them actually did it, and not really, because they just compiled a bigger version of what the team below them compiled, and then the team below them compiled even more raw data. It's like the team at the bottom figures out what kind of mascots, what kind of animals do people like, and they come up with like panda, cat, dog, fish, horse, right? And then the team above them takes that data and they're like, okay, how can we condense this into fewer choices? And then they're like, okay, well, panda, cat, and dog were like the top three, based off our focus group, interviews and such, and polling. And then the team above them is like, panda, cat, or dog? Well, I know Steve hates cats, so I'll just present him with panda or dog. And then the boss of that company is sitting at the head of the table, and he's like, let's go with Greg's idea. Let's go with a dog. And then you use a dog as your mascot, and it works, and your company's doing well. And then the boss is like, yeah, that was my idea. Yeah, I make a handful of really important decisions. And it's like, yeah, after everybody else, after hundreds of people putting in thousands of hours have whittled the choices down to literally both are successful, right? Both options were the most popular among the people that you polled. And so whatever choice you make is gonna be a good choice because everybody has moved mountains to make sure that you make the right decision. You know, and it's like these people, these business people, they got lawyers and tax experts and investment managers and shit like that. It's like literally these motherfuckers always love to be like, I'm self-made, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, but while being like held by the hand and guided through every step of the way. Like Jeff Bezos, it's like he started Amazon in a garage. Yeah, and his mom was on the board of directors, or like the chair of fucking IBM, one of the biggest companies in the world. And so, and she got her boss to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into her son's little fucking startup. And it's like, well, that's not fucking self-made. You didn't do that shit in a garage. You got a huge lump sum of money that fell out of the sky. And that's another thing too, is that when you like business, they give you the shit for free. And the game is that you never use your own money. You never use your own money. That's the dumbest shit ever. Always make sure to use somebody else's money. Trick some other rich idiot who doesn't fucking know anything, who doesn't know any better. Just give off good vibes and convince them to give you $50 million for 3% equity in your fucking company or whatever. And get that money. And literally, like, these billionaires get subsidies from our taxpayer dollars. They get investments from other rich people. And again, all this money came from slavery. So it's like you're playing around with money that you didn't earn, that is literally from slavery, and then you're using it to generate more profit for yourself. Again, even though you didn't earn any of this. I'm feeling more impassioned. I'm sweating, I'm in soup. But it's like, damn, brother, all I gotta do is get down to the gas station and come back. All right. The first day I feel positive about this fucking walk. I mean, my shoulders and my back hurt, but not as much, and I feel like I got a quicker pace. I'm walking got a little more pep in my step. But yeah, like, I forgot the other thing I wanted to say, but basically, right, they get their money from investors. They never use their own money. And then they operate at a loss. Like, these motherfuckers are so rich that they could just hemorrhage money for years on years. Like Amazon operated at a loss for like years and years and years. And so did Uber and Lyft. And so did like a lot of these big companies that we see today. They just operate at a loss. They just like literally are failing at being a business, but they just like, put in 2 tokens to continue, and they just keep putting in 2 tokens and continuing, even though they keep dying. And so it's like, well, that's not fair. That's not self-made. When you can just literally be like, oh yeah, I was terrible at this, and I literally was losing so much money, but thankfully I got billions of dollars. So as long as I don't bleed too much money, I'll be all right. And it's like, usually when you set up a business and it's not doing well and you're not making sales and you are not growing your business at all, businesses usually fail, but not under capitalism. And it's like, oh, well, capitalism is the survival of the fittest, And it's like, no, it's not. Because companies can be too big to fail. And so they failed, they fucked up, and then they just get bailed out by us taxpayers. So it's like, this business is polluting the fucking planet. They're exploiting all of their employees. Like, Walmart has the highest percentage of employees on government assistance. And then when they get in trouble, they just, it's like the little bit of money that we get, we pay to taxes. The government holds those taxes. And then when that company that's exploiting the planet and everyone on it gets in trouble, they just give them our taxpayer dollars, you know? And so it's like, oh, so I guess it's not, you know, competition in the market and, you know, whoever's the best shall survive. It's literally like, hey, why don't we just occupy this space until we can literally afford to buy everyone out? And then once we become like a monopoly in the market, once we become the biggest player in the market just by buying out our competition, waiting them out, and like just buying up space in the market or for like advertising and just shoving it down everyone's throat, and then like 5 years from now when you've lost $400 million sinking it into this business and finally like you're the only guy around, and then you just jack up prices because there's no other competition, and then you make your money back. So yeah, like this, people try to make you feel like business and entrepreneurship is like really complicated, and these people are really smart and only these people could do it because he's got a suit, right? And it's like, when you get around these people, you realize it's just vibes. It's just vibes and an old white boys club. That is literally it. Fucking, because, you know, like I drive for Lyft, so I have people in my car all the time. And when I have these business people, they're like, yeah, you know, fucking Greg's great, but he knows the information. He just can't look up off the page and connect with the client, and that's the problem. And it's like, right. And then you hear people like that one guy who hung out with David Goggins being like, I wanted to secure this client, and I knew that he was a Yankees fan. So I called my friend A-Rod, and I told him to come by the office and pretend like he wants to hang out with me. And I'll tell him, I'm too busy. Or no, not A-Rod, Derek Jeter. And, you know, just casually knows Derek Jeter and uses him to fucking, sorry, just casually knows, what's his fucking name? Damn, I just had it. I literally can't remember. Derek Jeter. I tell you, 30% brain capacity. But yeah, you just casually know Derek Jeter, and you have him come by the office to impress your like rich investor guy that you want to invest in your company. And it's like, right, that's not like business tactical savvy. That is fucking vibes. It's like, hey, I heard you like Lana Del Rey, so I got you a vinyl. And it's like, oh, that's nice. And it's like, there you go, that's business. Business 101. Hey, find out that somebody likes something and play into that. Like, it is not some fucking unknown thing. It's literally just human connection and vibes and selling a feeling, you know? But they make you feel like, oh, well, you know, we're the titans of industry. We know what we're doing. It's like, no, you don't. I don't know, I lost my steam. I'm starting to get really tired now. Sweat's in my eyes. But I'm so close. I'm literally this little part where I dip down every time. I'm right here. But I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, that fucking Ian freestyle was goddamn trash. And that's what I mean, man. If you're a white boy rapper and you ain't talking about some sort of political issues or the shit going on, shut up. Shut up. I want 6 bodies on this beach, all white supremacists. I don't get no fucks though, just say it's self-defense. When we fighting fascism, gotta take them out and the trash with them. Pussies need fully automatics, I ain't fuck with that. I choose every shot I take, aim for the chest and the fucking brains. Bow, bow. I don't play games, just pull up, I just hop out. Said you had some authority, well don't you cop out. Don't you cop out, don't you cop out. Said you had some authority, well don't you cop out. I'm here to stomp out, hey. Since you love licking boots, how do mine taste?